you recall me asking you whether you agreed with this statement, that an inconclusive conclusion indicates that the microscopic marks in question may or may not have originated from the same or known source?
I do remember you asking, yes.
And you agreed that that was a correct definition of what you concluded in this case, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so I want to, if I could, return to 10, Exhibit 10. And in Exhibit 10, not 10, I'm sorry, your case file again. This is the 47-page document. There we go. What's the tab? 6. Okay. In your case file, you have produced for us some nice comparison photos of your comparisons, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if you would go to page 37. Is the top photo depicting one test fire on the left and another test fire from the same gun on the right?
Yes, it is.
So do you see areas of agreement and areas of disagreement in these two bullets fired from the same rifle?
I see sufficient agreement amongst the striations that are in this land impression.
Okay, and tell us where they are. When you draw that conclusion, using this subjective theory of identification, show us what you're looking at.
Is it touchscreen?
Probably,
No, it's not.
No.
I'm sorry.
but we can, if you direct us, we can get there with a pointer.
Sure. So you can see towards maybe the last third of the bullet or the land impression that, yes, right where your cursor is below there, that's an area of agreement with that striation. It looks like it's going from the left to the right, so that mark is appearing on the test fire on the left and the test fire on the right. Then if you look towards the top of that land impression, there's going to be some more lighter colored striations or lines that are moving from left to right. Those areas are in agreement as well.
Where is that? Not as far up as where he is, correct? It's down?
Yes, and I believe the PowerPoint that I provided does have some areas and circles of some of these marks, if that would help as well. But if you move your cursor up, continually up, keep going. There you go. You have a line that was right there, and you have several others underneath of it that looks like it's going just straight across from left to right, and that shows an observed area of agreement.
So that one he's got circled on the right, I see a line there. Are you saying you see a line on the left that it's identical to the one on the right?
I'm saying I see agreement amongst those striations, yes.
Okay, anything other than those two areas?
You can really go down the entirety almost of that line looking at those striations. So under the top red circle, there's another area there. Yep, if you start right there and you draw your circle over, like I said, at the top of the circle, there's a highlighted line on the left that goes all the way to the right. If you go a little bit farther down, maybe still in the top third of that circle, you can see another line going from one side to the other, another area of agreement as well. And then under the final third circle, in a little darker area down there, there's still some lines, again, in sufficient agreement.
Okay, and again, these are comparisons between test fires. So you know the rifle that you're test firing fired these two bullets, right?
Yes, and the
Okay.
purpose of those test fires is to ensure that though it was fired from the same firearm, you want to make sure that those individual characteristics are reproducing.
All right, so go to the photo on the bottom of that page. This is the first of several comparisons between the test fire on the left and 6A on the right, correct?
Yes.
And what does the writing on the top mean, blue index GIMP?
So that will be, the first number there is the case number, the laboratory case number. Then next, 1.11B is going to refer to the specific test fire that's on the picture. And then V versus 6A, so that's the evidence that's also pictured. GIMP stands for groove impression, so I'm looking at a groove impression in this photo. Blue index means I'm specifically looking at the groove impression that I have put a blue indexing mark on so that I know where I am during the comparison process.
Okay.
30X refers to the magnification that the photo was taken at, and then INC refers to inconclusive, the final conclusion.
So I'm interested in the areas of disagreement. Are there areas of disagreement between the known and the unknown here that you could point us to?
So for this photo, to me, I see areas of agreement in the top. And then on the way down from the 6A, right after you see those two highlighted lines near the top, there's a lot of damage that is observed, and almost no microscopic marks of value can be observed at all. So again, that lends to the lack of quality and quantity of marks even to do a comparison. It's almost like missing data points.
Okay, missing is not the same thing as dissimilar though, right?
It just means there's nothing there to call agreement or disagreement.
So do you see areas of disagreement here or no?
On the striations that are available to me on this groove impression, I see areas of agreement, and specifically talking about those two highlighted lines at the top on the right.
Okay. Go to the next page, please. Top photo on the next page. It's B38. You see areas of disagreement in this photo.
So this is the same photograph that we looked at before, just at a different magnification. It's zoomed in a little bit more from 30 to 40x. So again, I'm looking at those two highlighted lines near the top, and then if you look down, you can almost see that damage a little bit better, and there's none of those striated lines that you see on the test fire, which you would expect to see in a land or groove impression on the right at all. So again, no microscopic marks of value to compare whatsoever.
All right, how about the bottom photo? And again, the question, areas of disagreement.
The possibility of an area of disagreement maybe in the middle. There on the 6A is a line that does not look like it carries over, but just from this snapshot, I cannot say if I had moved the photo a little bit different or the specimens together, that area would be agreement. In this photo, it does not look like it does, though.
Okay. And could you go to the next photo, please? Same question here, areas of disagreement.
The way this photo was taken is highlighting more of the lack of microscopic marks of value. If I had pulled the specimen that's on the left, the test fire over, there might be some agreement that could be observed, but the way the photograph is now, you don't see the line on the right going all the way over. But again, this is just a snapshot of one particular area.
Doesn't show areas of agreement or disagreement.
There is an area of agreement at the very bottom of the photo.
Okay,
Correct, yes.
next photo, please. How about this one?
This is another zoomed in of the previous photo, focusing in on that bottom area of agreement. So we went from 30x to 40x and just highlighting one specific area, and this is showing you agreement.
Next photo.
So again, this area that is highlighted, the bottom portion that's in focus, is showing an area of agreement. As you go up, the lines are a little bit blurred on the 6A bullet jacket fragment, so it's hard to say if that area was an agreement or disagreement. That's not what my photo was focusing on.
All right, next one.
So again, this is going to show you part of the groove impression at the white index. On the top, you can see some striated lines, or excuse me, more of the middle of the photo. The top of the groove impression from the 6A, you see some lines do not appear to be on the right side either, but this photo is also trying to show the lack of microscopic marks at all towards the bottom of that groove impression.
Okay. But there are in these photos areas of disagreement as well as areas of agreement, correct?
In the photo that we just looked at, it could be possible areas of disagreement. Again, it's just one area that I'm looking at. It's hard to tell when you can't look at the entirety of the land in this
Sure.
moment.
Now this, you can take that down, please. Do you keep up with the literature relevant, scientific literature relevant to your field?
I do, yes.
And are you aware of certain criticisms that have been leveled against this AFTE theory of identification?
I have heard, yes, I've heard recommendations on how to improve the AFTE theory of identification, yes.
Well, the criticism have gone beyond that, right?
Specifically, what are you referring to?
Well, you're aware that the National Resource Council,
The National Academy of Science?
National Academy of Science,
Yes,
is that a pretty preeminent scientific organization in this country?
yes.
Did they conclude in 2009 that, quote, "a fundamental problem with toolmark and firearm analysis is the lack of a precisely defined process. As noted above, AFTE has adopted a theory of identification, but it does not provide a specific protocol. It says that an examiner may offer an opinion that a specific tool or firearm was the source of a specific set of tool marks or a bullet striation pattern when, quote, sufficient agreement exists in the pattern of two sets of marks. It defines agreement as significant when it exceeds the best agreement demonstrated between tool marks known to have been produced by different tools and is consistent with the agreement demonstrated by tool marks known to have been produced by the same tool. The meaning of exceeds the best agreement and consistent with are not specified, and the examiner is expected to draw on his or her own experience. This AFTE document, which is the best guidance available for the field of tool mark identification, does not even consider, let alone address, questions regarding variability, reliability, repeatability, or the number of correlations needed to achieve a given degree of confidence."
I do remember
Objection,
there's.
objection. We're now firmly into 702 territory. I object on grounds of relevance to the probable cause hearing and beyond the scope of the PC hearing, as I previously objected.
I think it goes directly to reliability, that a scientific group studied this exact process that she used in this case and reached that conclusion.
If you would, so, again, I'm trying to keep us on the probable cause standard. This is going a bit deep in regards to it. This is citing to 2009, and so we're in 2026. And again, I don't want to have to dive deep into areas trying to determine, because I feel that we are exiting the orbit of probable cause. If I'm having to make that analysis and trying to see, like, how is this relevant? How does this apply? How does this go to probable cause? So if you wish to ask this question and then move on, we certainly could do that, but
Sure. The only thing I wanted to do was establish that this was the foundation criticism in 2009. And I know when we had raised this issue with respect to one of the other experts, the comeback was, oh, well, this was in 2009 and the PCAST report was in 2016. In this particular field, these criticisms have started in 2009, but they have continued up to the present day and have gotten more strident. So I think that's the take home here, is that this is not some past criticism that has been set aside. This is a criticism that this expert is aware of and that has continued in the literature up to the present time.
But I don't have that second portion of what you just said in front of me. So I can't agree with you because what I have is what's before me.
Right.
I can't go searching myself as a magistrate for probable cause. I have to take what you say as it is. And if I have to start searching, I've left the universe of probable cause.
I agree, and I was offering that to the court as a proffer in
Okay.
terms of where this line of questioning is going, so the court can understand the context.
Okay.
It isn't just an isolated criticism, and I'll establish with a couple of questions that it's continued up to the present time.
So I will overrule the objection, but I will limit you to this question. We're going to more and more and more I see your point. You're looking at whether this science is challenged or not. The point's been received, but anything further goes outside of probable cause. So we have to get back on the path.
Got it.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
You're aware of that criticism, right?
Yes, I am.
And you're also aware of the criticism leveled in 2016?
Counsel, I just said that we're focused solely on, I've accepted what you've said, but I said that it's limited to this question and then we're moving on. Because anything further is going outside of probable cause.
I misunderstood. I apologize to the court.
And I
thought-
apologize if I wasn't clear on that, so maybe it was my error not communicating. I've accepted that coming in, I've overruled the objection, but I said, we're gonna leave that where it is and then move forward.
And that's where I'm unclear. When the court says move forward, no more questions about any further criticisms beyond that one? If that's,
On this line of question, that's correct. Because
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Burke.
and I think I've made the proffer in terms of the relevancy of it. And the
And
court is-
I accept that, so thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Burke.
All right, then the last area is, in the years that you've been doing this testing, is it true that you've only taken one proficiency test that involves bullet comparisons?
Yes, I've only had the opportunity to take one bullet proficiency test so far.
And is it true that that was in 2023?
I don't remember the exact year, but that sounds correct, yes.
Right, and is it true that that proficiency test involved a test where you had question bullets, and then you had two sets of bullets, one that was fired from one gun, not the suspect gun, and then a second gun that was fired from another gun?
I don't remember the exact final ground truth answers that were there. No, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I think when you and I talked about this, you said you're aware of a controversy about that particular test, correct?
I was aware, yes, of the results of the proficiency test, yes.
That there was a very high error rate in that particular proficiency test, right?
There was a higher error rate, yes. However, my answers were satisfactory along with the 5 other examiners at my specific laboratory that took it as well.
Your conclusion in that case was, as in this case, that it was inconclusive, correct?
Correct.
Even though the correct answer was that the bullets did not come from the question, the two did not match, the known in the question should have been an elimination.
The ground truth answer was yes, they were excluded. However, an inconclusive result in this comparison was extremely appropriate. The lack of quality and quantity of those individual characteristics never reached sufficient agreement, nor did it ever reach sufficient disagreement. So saying anything but inconclusive was not appropriate.
I see. And can you have bullets fired from different weapons that can have individual characteristics that look pretty similar?
There is occasions, yes, that tool marks that are made by 2 separate tools are similar, yes.
Could you go, and this is my last area, question Exhibit 19, page 26.
Your Your Honor, I'm requesting
Page
20 minutes
26.
for cross-examination. We're coming up on 4:37. That would be my request, Your Honor.
This is my last question, so.
All right, Mr. Burt. Thank you, Mr. McBride. I appreciate the heads up.
In your opinion, does this, the one on the left and the right, show matching individual characteristics?
Counsel, has this been admitted? Because I see it displayed. I just want to make sure, is this also?
It has not been admitted, and
Okay.
I'm asking this question, and as a foundation for admitting it.
Okay, that's fine. So I just
Yeah.
want, it was on another screen. I wanted clarification, so it's not on any screens because it hasn't been admitted, but clearly it can be on her screen.
Thank you.
So only to the witness and counsel table screens.
Page, Exhibit 19, page 26. Does this comparison show individual characteristics indicating that it was fired from the same weapon?
There are individual characteristics present, but without examining it in person, I don't feel comfortable making a conclusion.
Okay, how about the next page? Watch, 27. How about that one?
Again, I see individual characteristics. On a very first glance, I can see maybe one striation that is an agreement, but without seeing it physically in person and having an accurate representation of the entirety, I can't conclude in any answer.
And the last one, the third photo, page 28. Page 28. Exhibit 19, page 28. Same question.
I do see individual characteristics. I do see some areas of agreement without looking at it further, I wouldn't make a conclusion. It's a holistic approach when you're examining items.
Would it surprise you if I told you that all three of those were fired from different weapons?
Again, I don't know any context to these photos other than what you showed, so I don't feel comfortable saying one way or another.
Thank you.